Well, I'm leaving my little campsite at mile marker 681.5, about 7:15, so it's the earliest I've left. Got about 5 miles across this ridge, got some slanted rocks I know I got to deal with today. Then down a hill, so I'm trying to do about 9.5 to a campsite down at the bottom before I have a big climb tomorrow. So that's where I'm headed, so let's get going and see how this day unfolds. This is what that valley looks like in the morning before the sun hits it. This was just past my campsite, the viewpoint power lines here. Got some more of the views today too, though. Well, into the woods I go. I think the saying says to find my heart and heal my soul. My soul does need healing some. After losing our son in 2019, and 7 years ago, unexpectedly, it's left a big hole in my heart and soul. So part of the reason I'm hiking this is to get a little healing from it. And here we go, beautiful trail this morning through the top of a ridge, and so I got to make up some time today because I'm going a little further than I've been going. All right. Yep, this is the trail. You can see it underneath all this overgrowth. Well, for almost a mile from this point forward, there's supposed to be a whole bunch of these stone cairns. I think I'm saying that right. Cairns, rather. Cairns, not cairns. Cairns. Supposedly built by farmers a long time ago. It was pretty neat. I see a couple of them tumbled down over here off of the pass, off in the distance. One right there. Another a little bit further back that way. Anyway, I'll get some pictures of some of them as I go by. There's already been several this size. You can see a couple off in the distance that way. Another one just right up here. I'm on top of Sinking Rock Mountain, I think it's called. Yeah. Oh, there's a little bigger one right over here. I'm getting to see the trail too. Slight uphill right now. There's a little bit bigger one. That first one was the best one so far. Now over there it looks like a stone fit wall or some kind. It started going up through there. Several down through here, and you may get the bonus of a woodpecker in here on both sides of the trail here. That's just neat how they did that. Wouldn't mind somebody researching and finding out why they did it. Maybe it's marking boundaries of some kind. I don't know. Maybe once upon a time, top of this mountain was clear and they moved all the rocks so they could farm it, maybe plant apple trees and had orchards or something here. Don't know. Interesting. And that's why I didn't come to this shelter for water when I carried water, because the Sarver shelter is 0.4 downhill from here, and the water's 0.45. So it would have been close to a half a mile round trip getting water and everything else. So we will be moving on toward the Night Eye shelter and on past Virginia Route 621. Yep, gotta go through there somehow. Yep, had to pull myself up with my arms and hands on that one. Something funny about hiking in the morning, most people may not be aware of, is that overnight the little spiders built a single strand web across the trail. So the first person through in the morning, like me this morning, has to do something called breaking webs. So they get all over your face and everything. So about every 5 or 10 feet sometimes. Anyway, it's interesting. But no spiders, just their little tiny web. Single strand web too. It's not an actual web, just a single strand. This is a perfect example of a pointless up and down or a PUDS. The trail, you can actually see, it's right to the right of that tree in the center that's farthest away. It's better to see the trail. Well, when it come around that tree, it decided to drop down the hill and then do a little steep climb right here back up. When it could have just come straight across. That's why we call them pointless ups and downs. Trail maintainers could have just simply come straight across with it. Oh well. Well, here's what the trail looks like. It's a little rocky, but bigger rocks. And a few of those little rock scrambles are over it for right now. But I've just been cruising along, making some good time. Trying to. Oop. Still those little hidden rocks down there though. Grab your toes. I'll try and film it. I've been on a fairly cruisy trail for a while. I'd say close to a mile now. A few rock places, but they're bigger rocks. And I've been able to do about 3 miles an hour, occasionally 2. I'm probably doing about 2 right now. You may not realize that when you're hiking 3 miles an hour, that's a mile every 20 minutes with a 25 to 30 pound pack on your back. I don't know how much food you carry and water. So I'm quite proud of this 5'3", 68-year-old man doing this. So I'm doing okay. I'm doing okay. A little bit of comparison to what I just mentioned about speed. Yesterday, climbing up that last 2 miles of that mountain, I might have been doing half a mile an hour due to carrying extra water, about 4 pounds of water, because the water sources were scarce. There was more than 12 miles between water sources, and I'm still 5+ away from the next one, from where I got water yesterday. So I'm still carrying a liter, maybe a liter and a half. Now I'm carrying a liter. Used a liter yesterday, last night and all. But I didn't cook this morning. Didn't cook last night to save my water. So this morning I had a protein Pop-Tart. Well, I used a little water this morning. And my Carnation instant breakfast drink. Last night I had a Spam sandwich with nacho cheese Doritos. It's one of my favorite sandwiches. Anyway, got to step over the log here. All right, let's get going. Well, I'm point 2 from the official viewpoint, but this one looks pretty nice through the trees. I see a mountain way over there, cone shape. And as I've said, this is why I hike. This is the official viewpoint. I'm gonna zoom in a little bit more in a moment. Just caught back up with a younger guy I met a while back on the trail, a little ways today on the trail. His name's Merlin. He's from Augusta, Georgia. Man, this goes on forever. We'll get my peak finder out and see what some of these peaks are I see way off in the distance. Well, I tried to FaceTime my wife and I have no bars here. 0 service. Been trying to show her all the big views that I come across. So sorry, baby, didn't get that one today. But good morning to you and I love you. Well, I just used Peak Finder. And that tallest mountain right there is McAfee Knob. Well, there's actually one behind it too. One of those two you can see there is McAfee Knob. I think it's that closest one that you can see Looks like some power lines maybe cut through the top of it, top right of it. I believe that's McAfee Knob. I'll be there on Friday. Today's Tuesday, June 2nd. Now, I've had some slanted rocks. This is right here by this view. You see the white blaze on the rock right there. I gotta go across that. That's a bit cool. Well, that looks like fun. Let's go. Well, this is the most rock scaling I've done. You can see the view off the side. The rocks are all slanted downhill and I'm still going this way. Yeah, still gotta go that way. Definitely slanted rocks. Here's the trail. And that's straight down, not the trail. Definitely don't want to slip and trip and fall. That way anyway. All this I've been doing is a section of the ridgeline here called the ledges. And it looks harder than it is. It's a little tiring because your feet are always at an odd angle. And there's some climbs here and there, but anyway. Cannot film while I'm doing this though. This is kind of fun though. I'm enjoying this. Well, I've reached the Eastern Continental Divide. Everything to the left of this tree flows 1,920 miles to the Gulf of Mexico. Everything to the right of this tree goes to the Atlantic Ocean, which is 405 miles away. Pretty cool. Right, it's 10:42 on Tuesday, June 2nd. I am starting down my hill. It's about 5 miles to my campsite, and just made arrangements to be picked up tomorrow by 4 Pines and do a slack pack of Dragon's Tooth on Thursday and spend 2 nights with them, Wednesday night and Thursday night. So, ready to get down this mountain. It's a little cool up here this morning when you're sweating. All right. As I've been descending this mountain, there's been big rocks in the trail, which are usually not that big of a deal. Just kind of step from one to the other. So I've been able to move fairly quickly. And there have been some spaces in between the rocks that's been kind of cruisy. So so far I've been doing a little faster downhill than I thought I'd be. Well, I'm still going downhill. It's been a mixture of trail, big rocks, rocks and roots, and now these, I'm gonna call them slate rocks. I don't know if they are, they're slate colored anyway. These are the loose ones that are, some of them are embedded in the trail and some of them are not. And these are the worst ones. They're loose, they're smaller. Some of them embedded trip you up. So these are the ones you have to go real slow through. That's the Nide shelter. 7.1 miles from where I camped last night, so that's how far I've gone today. And I'm looking for a place to stop and have some lunch, but I think I have a water source coming up pretty soon, so that's probably where I'll stop. Well, I just met a couple going the other direction, and they told me that at the road crossing up here, someone's doing trail magic, feeding the hikers. So I am looking forward to seeing what they have to eat. Been a little cruisy since I left the Nide shelter area. Talked about pace earlier. I'm doing about 3 miles an hour right now. Based on what I remember doing 3 miles an hour on the treadmill back at the gym. I have done 7.5 miles in 5 hours. So some of it was not 2 miles an hour, some of it was. So anyway, all right, let's get going. Well, came down to 621, got trail magic. Hot dogs, about to dig in. Well, I'm leaving trail magic back there from Alan and Bertie. I had 4 hot dogs, a cup of ice cream, and a Mountain Dew, so I am happy. So, a little bit in tater tot, another ice cream down. Here we go. Got another mile or so to go down the road. Oop, been getting too close happening. There we go. They were set up here at Virginia 621 in the AT comes out right there, so. And I came out of the woods right there in the parking lot where they were having it, so good day. Well, as I said, it's another mile to my campsite. It's almost 2 o'clock. So I get there, I'm gonna look and see how close the next place is. So now that I've rested and got my belly full, I feel like I could go further today. But here's the trail, real nice. Cruisy, as I call it. Here's the turnoff to follow the orange ribbons to the Craig's Creek, I think it's called, water crossing, because the bridge is out. But it looks like the trail just goes right down here. I'm gonna step over these sticks and go down here just to see the original place. So I can say I walked the AT up to the river anyway, the creek, whatever it is. Yeah, that's where the bridge used to be. So we'll go across it, back where it's supposed to cross it. So you follow the orange ribbons on the trees. Looks like we go down this way. So let me get off this bank here and see where it goes. Well, I got off the bank, come through a little weedy area, but anyway, here's the crossing they got fixed for us. It's a rock hop. It's not gonna be hard, but I'm not gonna video going across it. Did it just fine. A couple of rocks were loose, but that's okay. Could have crossed right there too, it looks like. Yep. Anyway, so we can find the trail now. Oh, I see a white blaze. We are now entering the Brush Mountain East Wilderness, part of the National or Jefferson National Forest. Need to look up when I get back home sometime. The Jefferson National Forest is huge in the state of Virginia. I remember seeing signs back in the Highlands area. Tater totting a little bit. I believe that was ice cream number 6. I believe that was number 6, so trying to keep up with it. Well, I changed my mind. Finished getting water there at the creek, and now I am going on to up this mountain. Find a campsite up there. It's just 2 miles, about 12 to 1,400 feet elevation, so it's just 2:30, so we'll see how it goes. So far the climb's just been gradual. Gone probably half a mile, close to it. Switchbacks, so a little out of breath because I'm climbing, but this goes all the way up. I've been glad I made this decision. Well, I am glad I made that decision. Well, I got the tent set up just before the rain hit, which is good because I got everything inside and everything's dry. So need putting up a wet tent tomorrow, but that's not the first time. All right, gonna be closing out from my sleeping bag because I'm cold, and I'm certainly warm inside my sleeping bag. But this is Tuesday, June the 2nd. Started out at a campsite at mile marker 681.5. I came to another campsite at 693.1. Means I hiked 11.6 miles today. So I'll only have about 4.4 tomorrow before I'm being picked up by Four Pines Hostel. So we'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for watching, everybody. Bye.